So IMTS is a massive, massive trade show. One of the biggest ones for machining in the world, or at least in North America. All the big machining manufacturers bring machines here so you can see live cutting demos. They're doing new releases of brand new premieres around here. Typically at a show like this, you're gonna see tens of thousands of people coming through here throughout the week. This show is running from Monday to Saturday. You know, it's usually busy kind of in the middle of the week, but there are people here every single day. It's amazing to get to come to these kind of trade shows because it feels like a big family reunion. People you may have been working with remotely for years, you get to now meet in person. You know, getting to meet people who you've done videos with, getting to see people that you may not have seen in a few years because they moved on to another company. You get to catch up with them, find out what they've been up to. It's like a big reunion that we all kind of look forward to. So we're very excited to go see what's new, drop in on some of my favorite people around the show, and see what's up. So Brett, we saw this at EMO, but a lot of things are different with this compared to the machine I saw.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Ian. You know, we're always looking to improve things. So now here at IMTS, we've added a 12th axis instead of the 11 axis. We've added a parts cleaner to actually clean the cutting tool. We've made the automation of the switching of the stop discs and the coils very fast and efficient. So it's really been improved, but it's the automation cube. So what this does is actually shrink the tools for you. And these are for shops that are doing maybe 400 tools a day. Ooh. They can just put the tools in the conveyor, let her roll, and then it's doing all the stuff that's very easy to do for you.
This is a full tool room. Everything a person can do is being done right there. Finished tool comes out, and I'm gonna speculate on something.
Yeah.
The codes we have on those holders, that's gonna already be programmed in. You can scan it into your machine or put that code in. It's gonna go straight to your controller, it's done.
You got that exactly right. We've got that unique ID on every holder. We've also got IDs on the positions of the pots that are going around there. We've got on the coils, we've got IDs everywhere throughout. So we've got all these scanners and functions that are keeping track of the whole process throughout. It's pretty amazing.
This is nuts. Yeah. What would the throughput of this thing be per day if we had to run it all day, just as a throwaway number?
You're looking at about 400 tools a day.
Oh, so it would do the full 400 per day.
Yeah, and then just set it and let it go. You can add more pallets, if you will, to bring these tools in and out. So all the person is doing is putting and we made it super simple. Red means it needs to be replaced. Green is the new tool, and then after it's been shrunk, it puts it back in the green spot so you know that assembly is ready to be brought out to the cart, brought out to the machine.
That's absolutely nuts. There must be just an absolute buzz about these things with these large factories.
There is a huge buzz, and the cool thing is what we always say, like for this show, yeah, because you're right, large production facilities, lots of tools, they're the ones who are going to be doing this. But what we're saying to people is this is also a good thing, even if you're just starting or you're a medium-sized shop. A wide shrink fit makes so much sense. It's the easiest tool holder system to automate. So later, if you bought a regular shrink machine from HAIMER and then you start to put your tools in and out, just do it that way. But who knows where you grow and what the future holds. And then if you end up needing something like this, you've already got the holders. So it's just a matter of integrating this instead. So it really shines a light on shrink fit as well.
I hadn't even thought of that though, because you're right. If you were using traditional, you know, collet holders, or you're using a side lock or a hydraulic, there's always you need to tighten to a certain point, or you need to do this. This is literally, I mean, when we're talking about HAIMER holders anyway, you heat it to a certain degree, which that knows how to do.
Yeah.
You put it in, it cools it, it's done.
It's done, and it's done exactly right. There's no overheating, there's no mistakes made, because it's programmed to do exactly what that code is telling it to do. So yeah, it's really the best way to automate an accurate tool holder system. And if you think about a tool room, you know, probably 70% of the tools might be round shanks, a drill, an end mill, a reamer. And yeah, of course, you're gonna have face mills, you're gonna have boring heads. That you can still have someone setting those up while this thing is just running all day long.
It's all about freeing people up to do productive work. That's what we keep saying about automation. You could have someone, you're right, you don't need to have this in your shop. You could have somebody doing this all day.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you prefer him be programming or doing something that he actually can do better than that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a better utilization of time. And we all know it's hard to find people, so let's utilize the time we have.
Now, I just got into shrink fit.
Yep.
You know, we started with the little ones. We got some of these in the bigger sizes. Still not super familiar with them, but you use these quite a bit, do you not?
Yeah, I have a few HAIMERs. What I really like about them, I've noticed using them that the heat cycle is fast. The tools come out quick. You don't have to spend 30 seconds trying to warm it up. 15 seconds, you pull it out, the tool's not hot, it's not gonna burn your finger. You put one in quick and it cools down nice and fast.
And I remember when you were talking about these before, you actually use these for your aluminum cutting end mills too, so you're only switching these things out
A few times a month. I got plenty of them, so I don't have to swap tools very often.
So Jacob, how did we go from this big old chunk of brass into this here? This is not easy to do, especially when we're talking about a twin spindle automated cell.
Yep. Well, it's a part that's been done before, quite a few times, but we had to add the SW twist onto it. So like you said, twin spindles, add some automation onto it, from the brass block to the finished part. I mean, 3-axis roughing, 3+2 for positioning, and then 5-axis finishing. Some in-cycle probing on the other machine, keep it going. But ingenuity, dedication to making a good tool path, and just keep it going.
And what did you program that up in?
This one was Fusion.
Fusion?
Yep.
And you can use Fusion for a twin spindle machine like that. Is that just like a custom post? Or?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's a one offset G54. The spindles are hard connected. They're not independent axes.
Right.
So you really just think about it as if it's one spindle and you got one just doing the same thing as the other one.
And when you're going from one machine to another, because this is an automation cell that starts with, you load the rough parts in all the way over there, it gets handed off by itself to this machine, then handed back. Is it just in-cycle probing that's making sure that you're picking it up in the right spot, or how does that work?
Rigid enough fixturing. Thankfully, Op10, with it being a billet part, you can just have one offset and run with it. Minor differences in where the part might end up in the stock is okay.
Right.
The other machine, with it being Op20, from a machine part to a fully machined part, that's where the in-cycle probing comes in. Make sure everything lines up where it should be.
And with SW machines, I know that you guys are doing a lot of medical type stuff, you're doing firearm type stuff. With that kind of stuff, you need to be right where you need to be on every single program.
Oh yeah, we praise ourselves with our tolerances, for sure.
And though you program this, you actually are a new application engineer.
I am.
How did you get into that?
Well, I started off in a more so technical service-based apprenticeship, realized towards the last year that I really wanted to do more machine running, proving, designing, kind of that side of the world of manufacturing, and SW realized that, and here I am.
Was that apprenticeship done all at SW?
Yeah.
So they'll take people from, maybe not zero, but mechanical.
I mean, I came in with zero manufacturing experience in the first place. So.
And where's that out of?
In-house at SW, and then we go to Henry Ford for our college. We rotate 2 months at work, 2 months at school.
That's awesome.
Oh,
So
yeah.
3 years?
3 years total.
And I have a feeling you're going to be sticking around here for a little bit.
I will be.
So Sean, you're out here. How was your flight?
Flight was good, a little bumpy, but we made it.
And of course, this show is massive. You could be checking out a ton of stuff, but what are you really here to look at?
I'm here to look at machinery. Saved a lot of time. Basically a Mastercam booth. I like that software. See what's up and new. Few tools. Honestly, I'm like an aisle shopper. I like to go every aisle. I don't know what I want, and if I see something I want, it's kind of like,
You might just end up with a 5-axis, have to get shipped back, because I don't think it'll fit in your carry-on.
I know. If I can throw like a Hermley in there, a little Heidenhain, I think, I love those machines. Maybe one day, maybe we'll put that on the show.
Hey,
how we do it, 5-axis. But I think it's going to be pretty fun.
And if you have to give one tip to people coming to their first IMTS, what would it be?
I would say book a couple massages on your calves.
Because you're going to need them.
You're going to need them, because that's the way it's going to be.
So Dave, tell me a little bit about what's new for this machine. I know that this is one of the most popular lines that OKUMA has. People love these machines. But what's new about this machine?
Yeah, so in general, the LB series of OKUMA lathes is renowned in the marketplace. It's been around for decades, very well respected in the industry. And, throughout the years, we've seen a gradual move towards process integration. So add milling, add Y-axis, add sub-spindle. And we've got that package in our LB3000, which is our mid-range machine.
Right.
We never had that with the LB2000. And so for smaller product, we needed something to fill that gap. There's a big demand for that, right? And so this is actually the world premiere of this machine. It's the first one that's out, and we're debuting it here at IMTS. So again, first time to have this complete package on a single machine.
And I see some pretty crazy stuff in there. When it comes to the kind of tools we can put on there, we've got driven tools, I take it 90-degree tools. What am I looking at here? This thing can also have angled driven heads in it?
Yeah, so, well, we can do that a couple different ways. So we can do a M-tool driven angle head, right? Which would give us roughly 6,000 RPM. Ooh. You can do a 2-to-1, you know, speeder type head. This is a coolant driven tool.
Oh, cool.
Specifically for engraving. 80,000 RPM.
80,000?
Yeah.
Wow.
Driven off of 1,000 PSI coolant.
And that's something that integrates directly with this turret?
Correct.
Wow.
Correct.
And when it comes to the sub spindle, what kind of, are we getting the same kind of power, or is this more of a finishing spindle?
Yeah, so basically with the base spec machine, it's a 140 flat, 140 flat.
Right, wow.
So same spindle nose, right? This has the optional 826 spindle nose, so it's higher power.
Right.
Yeah, so you would do the majority of your work over here, transfer it over here, and do the finish work, right?
Excellent.
Both integral spindle motors, right? So very, very fast acceleration, deceleration.
And I'm sure this thing is fully ready to go with just about any OKUMA factory automation product you want to throw on it.
Oh yeah, whether you want to do robots, gantries, I mean, you name it, cobots, bar feeders. Yeah, whatever way you want to do it, we can set it up to do it that way.
Well, now I want to take one home with me. Now, Wolfingers, thank you very much for joining me. It has been a very exciting week. We're getting towards the end of it.
Yep.
How was your first experience at IMTS 2024?
Mind blowing.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. You can tell we're married, right?
Right.
Same vocabulary. And you know, it's interesting walking through, everybody has robots. It seems like robots automation is kind of like becoming the minimum standard this year.
Yep.
You know, even Tormach has a robot. Did you see that?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
even guys in their garages are going to start having robots and automation.
Yeah.
That's just
The accessibility towards it is a lot more.
Yeah.
What was the favorite thing you saw at the show for your first one?
I have to say my favorite thing was the people.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
So many people that you meet, you know, all over the nation, you like and exchange emails with is one thing, but when you can actually put a physical face to a name, it's a whole nother world. You know, you create that personal connection. It feels like, you know, a reunion, like a family.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And you know, it's been special too because our series has been out for just about a year now, and you wouldn't think in a year you'd make that much of an impact. I cannot tell you how many people have come up to us and said, I watched your series, and I took a leap of faith, and I started my shop in my garage too. And, you know, that's incredible. That's adding fuel to the fire for us with a passion, you know, to keep sharing.
Yeah.
You know?
It really hits.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you had to give a tip or a little bit of advice for someone who maybe hasn't been to IMTS, you know, next one's on for 2 years, but you got some time to prepare, what would that be?
Oh man, give yourself ample time. Good shoes. I mean, real good shoes.
Yeah.
Good sneakers. Don't come in and like, you know, dress shoes or anything. Like,
Yeah.
wear sneakers.
Plan to come the entire week, honestly. Unless you don't like crowds, it seems like today and tomorrow, if you want to avoid crowds, this would be the day to hit it because you can get right in the booth,
Yeah.
get to a salesperson, talk to it, and find out all that information. very
Friday
quickly.
and Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, if you would like to see a little bit more of what you guys saw this week, I do hear there's an episode coming out dedicated to your whole experience for your first time at IMTS
We got
2024.
some really cool stuff on there.
Yep. Y'all are gonna have to stay tuned for
Yeah,
that.
you're gonna like it.
We'll be looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Now, if you guys know me, you know I have a bit of a thing for German precision, and I just spotted the WTO booth.
Oh,
Let's take a look at what they got. So Patrick, tell me a little bit about these. I know WTO is well known for their live tooling holders, driven holders. This looks like gear hobbing, and I haven't seen this before in a machine like this.
Yeah, you're right. These are gear hobbing units, and you can actually manufacture gears up to module 6 on a terminal center with a live turret.
And how quick would it do a gear like this with this kind of setup?
Well, it depends. You can make these gears in a few minutes. It's fast, it's accurate, because the key is to keep the part, the workpiece in the machine. You don't need to take it off the machine and put it on a different machine. Everything is done in one setup, and that's how you get the good accuracy.
Production, production, production.
Yep.
Let's keep going down here. Now, this is something that's extremely advanced when we're talking about gear making. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, these are power skiving units. So power skiving is all about speed. So you can make gears, splines in a very efficient way. Again, on a turn mill machine with a live turret. And this is all about efficiency, high productivity.
And this is fast, fast, fast. If you've got a DMG NLX or something similar, you want to look into this.
Yeah, absolutely. You can make gears up to module 2 with a power skiving unit. And the good thing is you can make ID gears and also OD gears.
Now this looks like broaching to me. What are we seeing here?
Yeah, these are driven broaching units. So you can make keyways, splines on a turn mill center. And the good thing about our unit is that you can use it on the ID but also on the OD. So you can flip the cutter around by 180 degrees and then you can use it on both sides.
So you could essentially do gear profiling with this on a small scale if you really wanted to.
Exactly. I mean, if you have a small batch, you can absolutely do it. Our broaching unit can go up to 55 millimeter of stroke, total stroke, so it's a little bit more than 2 inch. So you can use it for many parts. And good thing is you finish it on the machine. You turn the part, and then if there's a keyway, you do the keyway with the broaching unit, and you take the part off the machine and it's done.
What I'm hearing again and again here is one and done. Get it done in one. These are helping you do more in your turning center.
Exactly, it's all about that, one setup, you want to do as much, you don't want to change over, you lose time, you want to do everything in one setup, and that's, how you keep up your productivity.
I love it. I'm seeing straight and angled heads here, but I think there's something more.
Yes, this is our quick flex system, and the good thing, this is our standard system, so this is nothing special. This comes as standard from WTO. If you buy a straight right angle standard live tool holder from WTO, it comes with quick flex. And the great thing about this system is that it's an ear collet based system, so standard ear collets, but you can also use it with quick change adapters in the same tool holder. So if I demonstrate this, we put on the one hand wrench, it snaps in, locks the spindle in place. You can remove the end mill or the cutting tool. You see here, this is a standard ear collet. You clamp in an adapter. Remove the one hand wrench, and you're done.
And it's done. And this is not something that you have to pay extra for. It's not something that if you get the super high-end version, this is on every single one.
It's on every single one. Customer doesn't need to pay extra. All he needs to pay extra are the adapters, and we have a different variety of adapters. We've got Hydro chuck adapters, we've got weld and whistle notch adapters, ear collet adapters, we've got even the power grip system from RicoFix. So there are so many different adapters available. They can be all preset outside of the machine and quickly change over.
And that's huge. Again, minimizing setup time, keeping chips going.
Exactly.
Okay. Perfect. So we saw the Quick Flex. What's different between that and this new Quick Flex Smart?
Yeah, this is Quick Flex Smart, so this is a new generation of smart-driven tool holders. You still have the Quick Flex feature. In addition, you've got the Smart feature on it for online condition monitoring, so you can monitor the process, so for process reliability in automated turn mill centers. We see here the dashboard, so where you monitor your Quick Flex Smart tool holders. So you see the process summary. For the operator, it's important to know, hey, my process is okay.
Right.
As soon as there's a green light, everything is fine, he can keep going. And you can monitor speed, temperature, but also the vibration of the tool holder, and that's very, very important.
Especially when you're doing high precision stuff, you got to make sure that tool's not deflecting.
Exactly, and if it is, you can go into and check your process to make the necessary adjustments.
Makes sense. Now these look really cool, but I have no idea what this is.
Yeah, this is CoolSpeed. This is really cool stuff. So these are coolant-driven, turbine-driven, high-speed spindles, and you can reach speed up to 80,000 RPM.
80,000.
But I've got my product specialist for these high-speed spindles here, so he can explain it a little bit more in detail.
Excellent. So Brian, how do these things work?
So they're going to actually be powered by coolant or oil. And it can go through the shank, or you can plumb it through a side port. So they're extremely easy to use.
When you're using tiny, tiny tooling like that, you want as fast of a spindle as you can get.
Yes. So with speeds up to 80,000 RPM with a small cutting tool, you're going to be reducing your cycle times and improving tool life significantly.
Wow.
So it truly is a game changer in reducing any bottlenecks in your production.
So there you have it, guys. I hope you've enjoyed checking out IMTS 2024 with us. In case you missed it, there are live streams. We were going live throughout the week, checking out all the booths. So if there's something you missed here or something you wanted to see, go take a look at those. And if you get a chance to come to IMTS 2026 here in Chicago, I highly recommend you do. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications below to make sure you never miss a video. Thank you very much for watching, guys. You take care.